Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Liverpool Connection podcast. I am Dazza. I am joined today by two of my favourite podcasts, or video casts. Is that what you call them now? I don't know what
vloggers.
I don't know what these youngsters call these
wafflers.
Yeah. Then I've got Dave from Dave LFC Chats, and I've got Jamie from Jamie Phillips Football Chats. I cannot believe this is the first time you two have been on here. So I'm chuffed to bits to have you. Very knowledgeable, these two, and funny as well, which is pretty good to have. And I noticed a little bit grayer after the season we've had. I know.
Sponsored by Just for Men.
Yeah, exactly. And Manscaped.
Manscaped.
Yeah, those grey hairs, Manscaped. But today I brought him on to do a season-ending review of a season that we can pretty much want to forget about. I'm going to start with you, Dave. Let's go back. August, Community Shield. Let's start there.
Well, I'll tell you, after that game, we know what happened. We won it. Darwin scored the winner and stuff. Or well, it made it 3-1. I think it was 3-2 in the end. But I actually forget because I want to forget this season. But I'll continue on. But the optimism was huge. I mean, the optimism after that game was, we're going to win the league. It's between us and City. Let's go. We're after beating them. Haaland looks shit. Everything looks great. We're going, Darwin looks really good getting that goal. The team looked fresh after a really long season, 63-match season and stuff like that. And I was full of optimism. I mean, that you can't lie because you can look back. It's on YouTube. It's saved, all our August and September chats. I was ready to rock and roll. I think I was talking to you, Daz, as well about it. I was really looking forward to an absolutely fantastic season where Liverpool would have been right up there and fighting on all fronts, Champions League, FA Cup, League Cup, like we did the season before, and be ready to rock and roll. And unfortunately, it didn't quite turn out that way, did it?
Jamie, for you, beating City in a Community Shield, I thought we'd kick on from there, and we all knew what happened. But what was your thoughts that first match back?
The first match back was a bit of a weird one. I went through pre-season and I did a lot of pre-season work, and I thought there was something wrong with the team in pre-season, not quite right. Something weren't gelling properly. They looked tired still. Liverpool had a very short pre-season. Klopp even mentioned of it that, pre-season was quite short, and he didn't get everything he wanted. And when the Community Shield came around, they just seemed to pick up a level. But then you go back and watch it and look at it now, and now the season's ended, and you go back and look. City only had, one game pre-season for that Community Shield game. They were just finding their fitness levels. We know City are sometimes a little bit of a slow starter, and then they turn up at the end of seasons. But yeah, I was still a little bit concerned, and the team looked tired. But then I looked at our fixture list, Fulham and Palace in our first two games, and I thought, okay, that's a comfortable first two games, but obviously, we know that's not how it started, especially against Fulham.
Well, in hindsight, I'd like to go back and find the video that I don't do predictions, as you know, but I'd like to go back and erase what I said. I said we didn't need a midfielder. I said it because I just thought we'd be okay, and God, was I dead wrong. I mean, It just looking back, even Klopp has stated he made a mistake. The Tuchemene looked close, and then as people do, as we've seen now with Bellingham, when Real Madrid come calling, they usually go to Real Madrid. It's just the way it is. It doesn't matter, whether Liverpool were on top. But yeah, it just I got blindsided, I think, with how good we played last season. But I think we forget these players are human beings as well, and not robots. Virgil said it like after the World Cup as well. It was just like, we're tired of being cheated like robots. I can't imagine, as football fans ourselves, I was devastated at the end of last season. Physically and mentally, I was drained. Can you imagine having to play that many games and getting that close as well? How it feels for these footballers. I don't think many of us really take a step back and really understand what they've gone through as well.
No, we don't. I mean, look, this Liverpool team for this season have really not stopped. You know, you look at the way we competed against Manchester City. We're the only club, if you look now, I mean, you look at this season, City only finished on 89 points. I know that sounds mad, but it seems like when Liverpool ain't competing against City coast to a title in 88 points. You know, it just shows that the effort that this football club put in the last few years has. They came to the end of their cycle, the end of last season. I mean, it looks like that now. Now we finished the season now, but obviously there's a lot of optimism going into it because what we did the previous season. But yeah, the energy this team take. I mean, the way Jurgen Klopp wants to play football, it's very energy zapping. It takes a lot out of you. We haven't got the biggest squad in the world, so we have to play a lot of the same players. And players like Virgil, getting that massive injury, coming back after a year and basically not stopped playing since, and having a World Cup. He's shattered. Mo Salah, I don't know how he still goes. I think Mo Salah can still play now, actually. He looks as fit as a fiddle, don't he? But yeah, I'm not surprised these players are shattered, man. Maybe it's something we've got to look into more this season coming, how we look after players a little bit better. Maybe we have to change things around. I'm not sure.
Dave?
Yeah, I mean, look, we can always do with a bigger squad. It's quality in the squad you need as well, though. You can have a big squad all you want, but you need quality, don't you? You need players in. We're losing a lot of players now, as we know. Loads of players are going out. I can see a few young lads going. There's even Carvalho, possibility of Carvalho going. Fabio Carvalho, I have a feel. I would have put him on loan, to be fair, because I still think he's got a lot to give, and he's very young to sell. I'd be surprised if they sell them. I really would. I'd give me a loan, though. Give him a loan deal. But for me, yeah, look, hindsight's great. We hadn't got a great turnaround. As Jamie said, we had a really bad turnaround, and Klopp wasn't happy. And there was signs in pre-season. There was a few games where we lost and defensively looked a bit all over the shop. A lot of the time, our defence was a different back four in those pre-season games. They're saying, okay, maybe. And then it seemed to gel a bit in the Community Shield. And then everybody's optimism went out the bleeding window, and reality bit, and that 2-2 draw against Fulham, of course. We should have lost that game, could have lost that game. And just we're doing on Liverpool things, weren't we? We're doing things that we weren't expecting, things that we didn't expect and didn't see for 4 or 5 seasons before. It was a surreal Salvador Dali-esque bloody season, and I don't want to see any more Salvador Dali. I don't want to see him. I want to see him in a gallery. I don't want to see him on the pitch next season. And I just think it is quality. It's size and it's quality of size of the team. And we did miss a midfielder. I know you said we didn't think we needed one. I think I did say we did need one, but we weren't going to get one, and we didn't get one. I thought we should have got one in January. We went for Gakpo, which turns out he will be a great signing. I know he will be, and it was brilliant to sign him. But I still think we needed a midfielder at that time, and we had the money for Tchouaméni. So the money was there for the midfielder. It was put aside. We didn't get him. And we just said, right, we'll hold on. We get Arthur Melo in. Melodramatic signing. I mean, he's playing 13 bloody minutes. 13 minutes. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know what I mean?
And he got a signed shirt out of it as well.
I have to mention Arthur Melo. That's the only mention he's going to get in this podcast. But I mean, you know what I mean? So, I mean, it's been a crazy season. And tiredness, injuries, some strange decisions from Klopp, and I'm sure the pressure. I think pressure told on Klopp for the first time in his Liverpool managerial career, other than the first season we had with him. There was a bit of pressure there, I think, on him. We had such a great season before. This season, things weren't going right, and you could see it in his press conferences, lads. He wasn't right in the press conferences. Surely there's stuff going on in the background that we haven't heard. We'll hear about maybe in a few years in a new book when it comes out. But the Pep Linders book didn't help either, I'm sure. And I'm sure there was something going on in the background. I'd say there was in-house fighting and stuff. You haven't heard about it. He likes a tight knit. Klopp likes that tight knit thing, and there was a few things said, and I know a few things said in press conferences and stuff, and it actually turned out to be wrong. The James Pearce thing was a mistake, by the way. It wasn't James Pearce; it was meant to be someone else, and he did say sorry to James. I actually talked to James after it. That was all sorted, but it just wasn't Klopp this season, was it? It just didn't have that big white teeth smile, you know what I mean? And disappointing season, but we just go again, lads. I mean, we're Liverpool fans. Won't stop me loving Liverpool, but
yeah,
no.
Just a little fighting with the journos wasn't Klopp,
yeah,
was it?
niggle, wasn't it?
Yeah, all the time. I mean, I couldn't imagine being asked the same questions over and over again, though. You know, as Klopp does, but I mean, there was no need to jump down half of these journos' throats. You just,
it's their job, like.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like when you get in your car with your kid and they go, "I'll be there about 50 times," and you just finally the last one's like. That's what Klopp's like with these press conferences. Look, I do a lot of reactions to the press conferences on my channel. We watch them as the channel and we react to them because I get sick and tired of people misquoting him all the time on Twitter and stuff like that because it does my head in. So we do reactions to it on my channel now. Watch the whole thing and don't know how I've got away with it this long, but it's all right at the moment. But
you're fucked now.
Yeah. Look, and he's definitely not been his normal self. I don't know what it is. Look, we never hear about him inside fighting at the football club. The Buvac thing got sort of swept under the carpet. I don't think we'll ever know what really happened there. The Pep Linders stuff. I think Pep Linders gets a really hard time for no reason sometimes. I don't get it. Look, we won everything under Pep Linders. I mean, it's a bit harsh to say, because look, a lot of people don't like blaming the manager for stuff, so they look at what's around him and blame Pep Linders and a book he brought out. Like people only found out how Liverpool played because of a book.
Exactly.
I'm sure they got scouts and watch us play on a regular to know how we play football. It's not difficult. There's been a lot of in-house fighting at Liverpool. There's been a lot of fighting on social media. The whole thing is like. Everyone's confused. I think Liverpool fans are just confused at the moment. They're confused about everything. They're confused about the transfers, what way Klopp is playing, the Pep Linders stuff, the book, why has Julian Ward left after only just signing his contract? We still probably don't really know too much. Then people make up lies about why Michael Edwards left, and it's the whole thing's a bit mad at the moment at the football club. Let's just hope that this is it. And then in the summer, we start fresh, new game plan, new faces. And we go again, as Dave said.
Yeah.
No, I've never seen our fans attack each other as I have this season. And obviously social media plays a massive part. Twitter can be very toxic. This top red bollocks versus whoever Reds does my head in. You're
do you know what it reminds me of, Daz? And I know you're in Texas in the States. It actually reminds me of the American political system at the moment, where you have the Republicans and Democrats. Both Americans, both Liverpool fans, let's say, and you're split right down the middle 50-50. You've got FSG out, you've got FSG in, you've got Klopp out, Klopp in. You've players like Naby Keita playing Twister and Monopoly on a Friday night before the game, getting injured. You've all this stuff going on. So to me, it's like an analogy of the American, I'm not saying Biden is Klopp, but I'm just saying a Democratic Republican trick. I know a bit about the American politics. I'm sure you do too. And that's it. It's not as decisive. It's not as divisive as that. But that's the analogy. It is split down the middle.
Totally.
Well, I mean, you can't blame a book on how bad we're doing. It's just like, we've had four guys in the team. Lucas used to be one. If we'd ever lose, it's Lucas's fault. Now, if we lose, it's Hendo's fault. Just one player. Now it's Pep's fault for writing a book, before his time is finished at Liverpool. It's got nothing to do with that. It's got everything to do with just being tired. Having the preparation wasn't there, not having fresh faces.
Plus, we're in transition.
Yeah, we will be next year as well. And look, Liverpool fans have just got to realise that we're competing against something you've never seen in football, really, against Manchester City. There's things to not like about our owners, I get it, but there are things to praise them about. I mean, people might not like it, but there is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And look, do I want to be owned by a football club that can, make a sponsor airways that goes and buys me a star striker? Yeah, I mean, there's things like that, and we're competing against that. And everyone's competing against that. And Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp and FSG, because they come as a group. I'm sick of all this separate stuff, because when we lose a game of football, for some reason, it's FSG's fault. But when we win everything, it's all Jurgen Klopp and nothing to do with the ownership. It's madness. I don't get it. For me, it's one big thing. We lose together, we win together. I don't get why we separate it all the time. And Liverpool have gone so close against this machine that no one can get close to at this moment in time, probably not even in Europe. Look what they just did around Madrid. They're the best team in world football, without a doubt, on the pitch. What's going off the pitch, that's up to the lawyers and all that to discuss. But, we don't want to get in that muddle. But, on the pitch, this City team are incredible. And this Liverpool team, under the ownership, people might not like it, whisker away. Last season, we were 20 minutes away from winning the Premier League. If Ollie Watkins went and scored his one-on-one, we're probably Premier League champions. We outplayed Real Madrid in a final, and the goalkeeper had the game of his life, and we just let him one mistake at the back. And then all this doom and gloom. It's just that we've had a bad year, but yes, the manager will bounce back. Have I got questions over him this season? Just gone, yeah. But a lot of people have, but I'm sure he's good enough to get himself back into the game. The players, we got too much quality. You can't tell me all these players just died all at the same time. It just they're bounced back, but people, there's no patience. I don't know about you guys, but we're older, so we probably appreciate a little bit more. But the younger generation, they got no patience no more. Everything has to be today. Nothing.
Instant gratification. Gratification.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Yeah, if you have 1 or 2 bad games, it's like, get rid of it. Nunez for his point is like he's not done it.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes we have players like Diaz that hit the ground running. Nunez, obviously, he's a work in progress. I think he'll come good next season. I really do. But that all depends on getting a midfield that can supply.
And defence. And our defence needs to be tighter, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Has he done that bad, though, Darwin? I mean,
at him. His numbers are quite good. His numbers are good.
I've had arguments, Daz know as well. I've had arguments, so many people on my channel about Darwin. And look, the way I look at it, Darwin don't quite suit our system at the moment. I think we can all agree on that. The way we play, look, Gakpo came in January, bang, suits the way Klopp wants to play. I think understanding what Klopp wants him to do is a big plus in Gakpo as well. Darwin, he must look at Jurgen and sometimes just go, I don't know what you want me to do, son. But Darwin, he's got to learn the way Klopp wants to play. Look, I don't think Darwin was meant to come in and be an automatic starter for Liverpool. We spent a lot of money on him, but it was to get a player, because I've always moaned about this. Liverpool never go and get the good young players now before anyone else picks him up. Go and get them, and they don't have to hit the ground straight away. In a year or two's time, they could be amazing, but you've got to make your club ready for them. And I think Jota and Diaz were meant to take the lion's share with Salah and probably Bobby as the forward line this season, and then bringing Darwin for bits so he can, like he did with Fabinho and Robbo and stuff like that, to learn the way we play. But unfortunately, because of our club, we either get no injuries or everyone dies at the same time. And we lost Diaz, we lost Jota for big chunks of the season. Bobby got his injuries as well. So Darwin had to play and he had to learn on the job. And he played left wing for a lot, 15 goals in all competitions, playing left wing, not really knowing the system, not really understanding what Jurgen wants him to do yet, not having the midfield behind him to put them through balls in for him, to find the space for him, have workers around him. So, Yeah, I think Darwin's done all right. People are just so like, oh, right, he's done, he's finished. Let's sell him, make our money back. Let's go and get. It's just, let's keep him, because I'm telling you right now, if Darwin was up for sale tomorrow, big clubs would be in for him.
Mm-hmm.
Big clubs, because they know the player he can be, because he's only 22, 23. He's not a finished article yet. You polish this guy and he could be something special, I'm telling you.
I like him. I look, I'm not writing him off. He's only a kid, as you just said. And I do like Gakpo, whatever you want to pronounce his name. He looks like a real, lump of coal. Although we knew he was good. United were in for him and he's a Dutch international. So we had a bit of an idea about him. But he was really good. But I just think Nunez, I mean, his numbers aren't bad from starting games, coming on. He did a lot of substitutions coming on. He's made a few goals, scored 15, as you said. I'm not worried about him. I'm just worried about him fitting into a system, though. As you said, Gakpo suits the system a lot more. He's really a number 9, really, isn't he? He's a big lad. He's great with the head. He can play on the wing, but I think he suits down the middle. He's so awkward. I call him Captain Chaos. I'm sure everybody does. He's so chaotic. And he's great to have in your arsenal. But it didn't help Jota, as you said, and Diaz being bloody injured, because then the pressure was on him. And he got sent off against Palace, which didn't help either. That really knocked his bleeding confidence back, didn't it?
Look, I love the fact, I think a bit of the fire has gone out of Darwin as the season went on, I will admit. I think a bit of the fire went out of him. I think Darwin has to play on the edge. He's that kind of player. It's a bit like Rooney. You couldn't take the fire out. People try to take the fire out of Wayne Rooney, but you lose the player, because he plays on the edge. That's how he plays. And I don't think we do that.
Suarez as well. Luis Suarez.
Yeah. As long as you don't do what Suarez did, we're all right. But
would you put a mouth guard on him?
But you got to have someone like Darwin. You tell Klopp, Darwin's part of your attacking squad next season. He's like, come on.
Yeah,
I've got him, Jota, Salah, Diaz. Yeah, I'm happy. And Gakpo's got 7 goals since January. It's gone so under the radar. For me, when they do signings of the season, I don't think Gakpo will get a shout because he came in January. But his stats since January is mad. And he's played the false 9 role. It's not even his position.
Yeah, I like it.
He's a superstar, man. He's definitely the best player signed from the Dutch league this season. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And again, not much really gets said about Anthony for United. Near the same price as well. And Nunez has got better numbers than him. So I think a lot of people are just being too hard on him. I think he'll have a breakout season next season, but just like you said, Jamie, we've got to play to his advantages. Whether it's like he comes off the bench, fired up, because we all saw it. He was getting frustrated. He was playing on the left too much. They put him in the middle. It wasn't working. So I think all these lads need a proper pre-season, and especially if we're going to get new faces in, they need a whole pre-season, not this coming right at the end of August, at the end of the transfer. No, thank you. But I think our business is going to get done rather quickly.
He wants it done early, though, doesn't he? He wants it done in June. I mean, McAllister, we all know about Alexis McAllister. That looks like it's going to be done. It's not quite done yet, but it looks like it's going to be done. He wants them in, hitting the road, ready to rock for that Germany tour or whatever they're doing. That's what he wants.
Yeah,
that's the only way to do it, Daz.
Yeah, McAllister would be perfect for us. He suits the way we play. You only have to watch him at Brighton. He plays that midfield role like a Klopp midfielder. He suits us down to the ground. Already knows the Premier League as well. We can hit the ground running. I think Lynch has just on Twitter has just said that we're in for Thuram from Nice as well. Apparently.
Yeah.
So another quality player. We've got Big George in there as sporting director. He's going to be looking at the German league and looking over other players. So look, everyone's freaking out because apparently Aston Villa are going in for that Real Madrid player. What's his name? The winger Sensio on the free. Who looks finished for me, but everyone's freaking out. Oh, why aren't we in for him? Because he wouldn't play for us. and the wages
Madrid don't let players go at the top either, do they?
No, and wages they go ask for him as well. He's go ask stupid wages because he's
$250,000 anyway.
Yeah, and it's not going to be worth Liverpool's because he's not going to play. He ain't getting in front of Mo. It's like people freak out. Transfer window ain't even open yet, is it? So
that's a thing, Jamie, too. I think people really forget about wages.
Yeah. All they think about is the transfer fee.
Well, I mean, with Bellingham as well, there's this quote in it's 83 or 89 million. Plus. That's without add-ons,
Yeah.
And people are already down FSG's throat going, well, if we can pay, 75 for McAllister, why can't we pay another 7 more million to get? It doesn't work like that.
He's probably on twice the wages of McAllister.
Exactly.
Bellingham's 300k a week. Wherever he goes, he's 300k a week.
Oh, yeah.
And look, Liverpool might have dodged a bullet with Bellingham because he has got his dodgy knee at such a young age.
He's getting his knee done, isn't he?
Yeah. What? Not how many? How many 19, 20-year-olds have knee surgery so young? It's a bit of a worry. It's a bit like he might not have another knee injury for the rest of his career. We don't know. But if I'm Liverpool and I'm thinking, right, I haven't got money like a lot of teams. Yes, we want Bellingham, but 85 million. It's not the transfer. Transfer fees are not actually the problem. You say it's wages or what you pay on the yearly. And if Bellingham is 300 grand a week, because that's what it easily asks for, and it easily get as well, then you've got to think of a sign-on fee, everything that goes to him, agent fees, everything involved is like it turns out to be like
million for God's sake.
It turns out to be £200 to £300 million transfer. This is what people don't understand, and Liverpool are looking at it and thinking, right, McAllister, 10 million more cheaper than Bellingham, but we could probably put 140 grand a week. And the quality is not. It's not like the quality drop is like that. It's quite even. So, it's good business sense. It's good business sense. But you're not allowed to talk good business sense on social media. It's not allowed.
There is no sense. There is no bloody sense on social media, you man. But as you said, I think that's what Liverpool did say. They're not going to throw all their eggs into one basket. And they more or less would have been in one basket with Bellingham. They would have been. They wouldn't have much left if they got Bellingham. Nope. That was the problem.
Nope.
I think another issue I think a lot of people had was obviously we were courting Bellingham for 2-3 seasons. I think that's what pissed off a lot of people. But, not once have I seen FSG or Klopp say they were in for him. They've said they liked the player. But again, media will run with it.
It was fans. It was actually fans.
And then
pushing the agenda, I think, wanting him, needing him. And it didn't help the likes of Carragher, Stevie G, all ex-Reds, basically courting him, being pictured with Henderson, being pictured with Trent outside Pop World. Do you know what I mean? All these type of things. So that didn't help. And it built up a conspiracy theory that he's actually a Liverpool player and he ain't going anywhere else. You know what I mean? But I tell you what I didn't want. I didn't want him going to the likes of a Man City. I mean, if a fit Bellingham went to a Man City, we'd all be beeped. You know what I'm saying? If he goes to Madrid, it's one thing. But if he comes into the Premier League and goes to a United or a City, I think it's a bigger problem for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's the Mbappe thing all over again, ain't it? Because Mbappe's mum, for some reason, is a Liverpool fan. And Mbappe, for her birthday, just got a meeting with John Henry and Jurgen Klopp for her. And everyone was like, "Oh, right, that's he wants to play for us." And then he just sort of told his mum, "Yeah, I'll play for Liverpool one day," just that flippant thing, And everyone went over the top and went, "Oh, it's Mbappe summer all over again." No, it ain't. Liverpool were never in for Mbappe. And with Jude Bellingham, with Jude Bellingham, look, of course Liverpool are interested in Jude Bellingham. I'm interested in a Lamborghini. I'm not going to get one, but I'm interested, And look, Jude. It's a lot of money on a kid that still hasn't proved it yet for me in the biggest of times. I think he's been okay for England. I think a lot of his England performances get a little overrated because England are desperate for a superstar, a young superstar breakthrough like a Gerrard and Owen did and a Rooney did. They're desperate for that next one. And he's a good player, but it's a lot of money to fork out on a player with like Bellingham that I don't know what he's best at yet. Is he a box-to-box player? That is sort of what he looks like to me. And if he is a box-to-box player and he's got this knee brace that he's playing with and he's got knee issues and he's having his surgery at a young age with his knee, playing for Liverpool might not be the best for his career, injury-wise, because the amount of running you have to do in a Jurgen Klopp midfield, especially if he's box to box. So, I think Jude's looked at it as well and thought Real Madrid's probably my best bet because Modric could play him for Real Madrid till he's 45 probably because he don't have to.
Cruz is getting old as well. They need him. Yeah. They need it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a done deal, I'd say, to Madrid. I'd say it's a done deal.
Yeah,
I just didn't want them coming to the Premier League, Jamie. I was thinking, geez, if City get him, I mean, they don't. Bernardo Silva's getting older, and a few of their midfielders are getting. If they got him, they wouldn't need much more, really, would they?
Well, that's what Madrid. That's what Madrid are doing. I mean, imagine being told, like, look, you can learn from the likes of Modric and Cruz for the next year, and then they're leaving, and then you're going to be the superstar. I mean, you're signing, aren't you? You just start.
Real Madrid. Yeah. Real Madrid at the end of the day. That badge and that white kit, it's they're the biggest club in world football. I think Real Madrid are the only club in world football that will never lose their pull. I literally think they're just that's the club. And if Real Madrid come calling, it's very hard for you to go turn Real Madrid down because you never know if that could ever come again. And with all this Jude Bellingham stuff, I think the player Liverpool were actually wanting was Tchouaméni. Mm-hmm. That was the player Liverpool identified. Jurgen Klopp even spoke about him and said the midfielder we actually wanted went to Real Madrid. Mm-hmm. And Tchouaméni's the one they want. If they could somehow, because Tchouaméni don't fit at Real Madrid right now. If they're getting Bellingham in, they don't really play him. They've got Camavinga, who they like because he's versatile. Modric and Cruz have signed new 1-year deals, so they're going to be in there another year. You got Valverde, I think, is quality. And then you got Tchouaméni, who's just sitting around. If I was Liverpool, I'd seriously go and see if they're.
I think it'd be too many euros to get him.
I'd see if they could do a loan deal. I'll see if they can do a loan deal for the year. I'll see if they can do a loan deal for a year or something because, he's of all the players Liverpool been targeted with, the only one they've really come out and spoke about is Tchouaméni. So that's why I don't really always believe the Jude stuff like you guys are saying.
Yeah, I agree. So when we started the season, did you have like Arsenal doing so well? Did you have Newcastle doing so well? Because I did not have them in my top 4.
I think my predictions video going back now, I think we all said Arsenal to finish 3rd. We had Arsenal finishing 3rd because I looked at the players they had. Should have finished 4th the season before, but fell away. I think if they can keep that same energy up, rotating Europa League, they could probably get top 4. And Newcastle, Eddie Howe's done an amazing job at Newcastle, keeping their confidence going for 12 months. Newcastle, every player at Newcastle has played a level above what their actual selves. They've played at such a high level. And the thing Newcastle ran a lot of luck with this season is because they've only played 1 game a week, no Europe, not had a lot of injuries, kept a lot of the same players playing week in, week out. Yeah, they've done really well to get well. Newcastle will be very interesting next season, what they do. Champions League, Premier League, what they do in a summer transfer market. Can that players stay at that level? Because that level they stayed at for me, Newcastle, with the squad they had, was above their level. And Newcastle and Arsenal will be very interesting because I think I said it the other day. I did an early shout the other day. I said Arsenal won't finish in the top 4 next season. Because
I think Arsenal's best chance to win the league was this year.
Yeah, I think their young players, Saka and Martinelli, they rely too much on, and they burnt out towards the end of the season. And in the Champions League, they have to play their best team every week if they want to get far in that competition. They can't rotate like they did in Europa League. So I think it might take a lot out of Arsenal. But Newcastle, got to give them all the credit in the world. The only scary thing is the things the things you're hearing about Newcastle that come out now about the shirt sponsor that hasn't got a postcode. It's a bit worrying.
There's crazy stuff going on there as well, unfortunately, at Newcastle and at City. And both of them are going to be there or thereabouts, aren't they? I mean, Newcastle are doing it slowly. I mean, City did it slowly. When was it 08 when they came in? Took a few years to build, and then went bang, bang, bang. And I think Newcastle could do the same. Could take another 2 or 3 years and they'd be right up there. Probably going for the league.
Well, that's the thing. You know, we need to get back in the Champions League. But I like what Klopp said, though. You know, if you're coming to Liverpool, just
to go to the Champions League, forget about
it. I'll drive you back where.
Yeah, no, he's right. Yeah,
Liverpool's still a massive pull.
Yeah, totally.
In the Champions League or not, and I believe we'll get back in the Champions League. I do, but it's got to be, the right players this summer. We've got to get it right.
It's a huge summer, Daz. It's a huge summer for Liverpool Football Club, I think, this summer, because we can't fall back any further. If you're out of the Champions League for 1 year, I think we'll be able to cushion that. Obviously, you want to win the Europa League. It's as I said, the finals in Dublin, but you want to try to get back in Champions League at the second attempt. You know what I mean? Yeah. You don't want to be 2, 3, 4 seasons out of Champions League. That's where you really get hit. You get hit badly. You know what I mean? Klopp's 3 years left? Hoping he'll extend, but he's 3 years left. I think it's very important we get into the top 4 next year. No matter what happens, top 4.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do Europa League 2 years in a row. It's just we're a big team. I think the biggest in England for sure. United fans will probably fight us over that, but I don't care. We are, we're still European giants. We need to be at the top. Positives from this season. I mean, for me, obviously, the 7-0 against United is a positive. Yes, we don't get a cup for it. We don't get a cup for it, but it goes down in folklore, that we beat them.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Nothing.
Unbelievable. I'm going to lift that up. I'm going to lift that up forever. It's an international sevens. What date was it? And I said to one of my mates, a big United fan, says every date when that comes around next year, it's going to be International Sevens Day. That was the day we beat you 7-0. I mean, and even we beat Bournemouth 9-0. We beat Bournemouth 9-0. Then they beat us in their bloody ground. We levelled the record 9-0. We've had our surreal season. 6-1 away at Leeds. Ridiculous scorelines. Crazy scorelines. And we've had some terrible results. Obviously, Forest, Bournemouth, Leeds, Brentford. Actually, Brentford and Brighton are good sides. They're actually decent sides, but we actually got hammered by them.
It's the Leeds one at home for me.
Yeah,
it was just that the players looked disinterested. The fans looked on edge. I mean,
I was worried after that game. I don't know about you, Daz or Jamie. Yeah, that was a real low point, wasn't it, in the season? That was a real. Oh my God!
Was that our only home loss this season in the league?
Yeah.
It was, wasn't it?
Only lost one game.
So our home form was still fantastic. It was just our away form was so bad this year. But yeah, that 9-0 win was our first win of the Premier League season as well. Which is nuts.
I know.
But the 7-0, like United fans after it and all the podcasts and all that came out and said, what does 7-0 really mean? We're still above you and all that. Come on.
And they didn't even play well.
And we didn't even play well, apparently, but scored 7 goals. It's just, you beat your arch rival 7-0. I don't care if I finish 10 places behind you. If I beat your arch rival 7-0. Well, it tells.
And it was 1-0 at half time, right?
Yeah. They fell a bits in the second half. Do you know what it tells me? I've been saying this for a while now. The Premier League is quite weak this year. It's quite a weak league. Because I look at Man United. I know they finished third in the Premier League, but they lost 9 games, the same as us. Scored less than us. And I think only conceded 5 less goals than us. They're not good side.
No,
they're not good side.
And
then Ten Hag after it going on the pitch with that interview, and it was sickening. And then having the nerve to say, "I need players." It's so much because it's just.
But that's why, Jamie. That's why it's so important we get this transfer window right, because we're not that far behind United. We're not even that far behind Arsenal. We should have beaten them at Anfield. There's no doubt about it. I don't know what Kanate was doing, a belly flop. I don't know what he was doing. But City are on a different level. We just have to say that. We pushed City and City pushed us. That's why we all broke that 90 barrier and they broke the 100 barrier. We pushed them to it. Arsenal didn't push them. They pushed them to 89 points. We pushed them. Arsenal weren't as good as us. That's the difference. You know what I mean? Weren't as consistent as us. We were losing 1 game and 2 games a season. 1 and 2 games for 3 or 4 seasons. Ridiculous levels. And my only worry was we only won 1 league. That level we were at, and we only came away at 1 league, 1 Champions League. I think we should have at least come away at 1 more league and maybe another Champions League. That's all I'm saying. I know it's in history and it's in the past, but that was the chance to do it because the levels we were at were ridiculous.
Well, you look at luck through the seasons, don't you? I mean, that Mane offside goal against Arsenal when he's clearly onside. You know, that would have gave us 3 points. We get the 3 points there. VAR was there then. We win that game. We win the league and Champions League that season.
The handball.
You know, the handball, the Rodri handball against Everton. The last second of the game should have been given. They've even apologised, saying they should have gave it. So there's things that's gone against Liverpool in some ways. But look, yeah, we should have won more maybe with the team we had, manager we got, and everything behind us. But, you know, only one team can win the league. Only one team can win a cup. And when this City team's around with Pep Guardiola. But if you ask Pep Guardiola tomorrow, who's the team you're worried about next season? I guarantee he says Liverpool. Secretly, if you got him on his own, no cameras about or anything like that, where he wouldn't upset anyone else, I guarantee you'd say Liverpool now. Because I think Pep thought Liverpool were going to be his main rivals this season. That's why he was quite willing to let Sterling and Jesus go to Arsenal and Chelsea. Because I don't think he thought they would be much of a threat with Chelsea. He was right, but I don't think he thought Arsenal would be there just yet threatening him. So he was happy letting him go. I can guarantee you right now, Pep Guardiola would not let a Gabriel Jesus go to Liverpool.
No chance.
Or a Sterling go back to Liverpool or anything like that, because he would still see Liverpool as his main contender. He speaks so highly about us. He speaks so highly about Klopp. You know, Klopp, as he said, is his greatest ever rival. You know, Klopp's still got, I think, the most wins against him and any other manager still. You know, it just, you know, I think ESPN put out a thing today saying that Klopp was the last manager to beat Bayern Munich to the Bundesliga title.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
And was the last manager to beat Pep Guardiola to a Premier League title.
Yeah.
It just shows
his nemesis.
What we're up against. In these elite level clubs. So, yeah, we'll be back. Don't worry, guys.
I just think, you know, a wounded Liverpool, I would fear if I was, you know, any other team next season. We just need to, you know, get the bit between our teeth again. I think we saw the positive. I think is also obviously the 7-0 is the tactical change, bringing Trent double pivot, but also the last 11 matches of the season showed me their squad are still good enough.
Yeah, we needed a strong finish to the season, and we got it. I know we got a 4-4 at Southampton, and we actually could have won that game near the end. But defensive, my only issue, look, the midfield is huge. The midfield is the big issue, and it looks like we will address it with the likes of a McAllister and maybe one or two more. But defensively as well, I mean, our character. Van Dijk's dropped off big time. Kanate looks a real find. I mean, Kanate for me could be there for 10 years at the club. Gomez, is he the answer? I don't know. Matip's not getting any older either. You know what I mean? I think we need another centre half, lads. I really do. Maybe cover for Trent at right back. Never mind midfield. The midfield, we definitely need players. But I think defensively we need to.
Yeah, I think we need a right back, full stop.
Yeah.
I looked at Trent against Southampton. Trent's positioning for a couple of goals when he went into that right back position were awful. I don't want to put him in that situation anymore. We've seen it now. I know people say still, can he actually play in midfield because he's playing that false right back and coming into them positions instead of starting in them positions. This kid's got so much quality. He's got so much quality. He actually defends better I don't know about you guys, but he actually defends better in midfield than he does at right back, because his awareness is more alerted in the middle of midfield, because he knows everyone's around him and it's the action part of the game. And his interceptions in midfield is what he's excellent at. His interceptions in midfield are fantastic, and that's what Klopp loves. He loves midfielders that can intercept the ball high up the pitch and start that high transition off, you know, high counter pressing. Klopp always said it in press conferences. The way Liverpool go back to winning things is high counter press. So that's never going to change under Jurgen. You've got to get players into that midfield that can play high counter press. Now, unfortunately, Jordan can't anymore because of his age and his legs. You know, Fabinho worries me still. I watched him against Southampton the other day, try and just kick Sinamani, who just ran past him and he couldn't even kick him. You know, Saints not quite still right with Fabinho, so that's a worry. You know, Milner's gone. You know, you got Curtis Jones there, who's a great squad player. Liverpool get this midfield situation right and get a right back in. I would just put Trent in midfield. But the problem is Trent in a 4-3-3, I'm not sure works. Trent as part of a double pivot alongside a DM, where you got the aggressive DM and then the controlling DM like a Kimmich or Bayern Munich. Trent can play that role perfectly. Everything in front of him, spraying the ball about, good at intercepting. Playing him at right back next season, I still think there's still issues in his game where it just don't suit him there right now defensively. And I don't know if I want Trent to be a better defender at right back or just a killer midfielder, to be fair. I'm confused on it still.
Yeah.
But I think the good thing is, though,
it's options.
Yeah, he can
Options,
play
versatile.
So it all depends on the opponent. So, I mean, I'm not looking forward to the season as of yet, just because I'm getting over this season. After me in a month or so, and a few fresh faces come through the door, I'll probably be ready for the season to start. I want to ask you two, before we kind of wrap up soon, who's your player of the season?
Alisson Becker, no doubt about it. I mean, the goalkeeper is just absolutely. He actually, we could have finished probably mid-table without him, to be fair. Right decisions, the way he sets up play, sets up some of our attacks, of course, and actually got assists once or twice with that ball over the top real quick to Salah and stuff. And just his overall play, the confidence he gives the back four. I mean, if you have Alisson behind you, Brazil's number one, of course, it just makes everything so much easier. Alisson, straight away. But I will say a big shout to Gakpo. I think he hit the ground running and he's been a real big find for us, a great signing. But Alisson Becker all day long, number one for me.
Yeah, Alisson Becker. Look, he's the best goalkeeper. Him and Courtois, I think, are the two best keepers in world football right now. And look, Alisson's calmness at the back is what makes him so good. I am never worried with Alisson at the back. His one-on-ones are spectacular. He's almost impossible to score against on a one-on-one. He's now got that aura about him where strikers are a bit like, it's a bit difficult to score against him like Schmeichel used to have. His positioning, you never see Alisson have to make a camera save, do you? Because his positioning is so good. He makes everything look comfortable. So I don't think Alisson gets the ratings he deserves because he makes everything look so easy. So, because he does it so well. Yeah, he's a tremendous guy. There's two others. Mo Salah. Now, you take Mo Salah's goals out of Liverpool, I don't know if we score many at this moment in time. I really don't. And yes, Mo has annoyed me this season where he goes to some games and it frustrates. He's the most frustrating player I love, if that makes sense, because I love the guy to death. I don't ever leave the Liverpool Football Club, but my God, he can frustrate the hell out of me in a 90-minute game. But then he can assist one with outside of his foot, like he did the other day, or he can score out of nowhere. And that's why you play the guy. That's why he plays. He's a tremendous player. And
he's never injured. Never injured. What has he got? 40 GA this season? I mean, it's just, and that's a bad year. And look, Mo's about stats. His game is about stats. He's one of them wingers who is a winger that scores goals. He's about stats. So, without Mo, I wonder where we'd without Alisson and Mo this season, I do wonder where we'd be. But a special mention of Cody Gakpo, who came in January, took a couple of games to get used to everything, and then hit the ground running. 7 goals, playing false 9 when he's the left winger. Seems to be a great guy. Got on with the team straight away, understanding how Klopp wants him to play. I think Cody Gakpo is going to be hard to take away from that false 9 role at the start of next season. I think he's going to be in the starting 11. Yeah, I don't see why he don't start the season with Diaz and Salah either side of him. I think Jota and Darwin have to fight for their place, in my opinion, which is good. That's what you want. That's great depth in the forward areas. But yeah, Cody Gakpo has been, 37 million. Great bit of business.
Yeah, massive deal. Yeah, Alisson for me, player of the season. Like you said, Dave, if it wasn't for his
heroics,
I mean, they looked dead certain, didn't they? Quite a lot of those goals, even stopping Vardy. But yeah, without him, and obviously Mo's goals as well, we'd be really low in the table. Not as low as Everton. Oh, those lucky bastards. Yeah, Jamie, you talk about like TV moments. Pickford does those ridiculous saves. It's just, come on, lad. You don't need to do that. You just pick the ball up. I bet he's got to, do all that. I can't stand them. I wish they would have gone.
Ramsdale does it as well, don't he? He does them like when a shot straight at him, and a shot comes straight at Ramsdale. And for some reason, he dives to make it look better.
It was like the one where, do you remember the one with Alisson, where Alisson, the derby, the Merseyside derby, where he was wasting time all the time, and Pickford kept him the ball, and he'd dive on the ball and hold it and waste seconds and seconds. Then Alisson did it, fell on the ground. That was a classic moment.
Yeah, that's the best. Well, Ramsdale wasn't laughing at the end of the season, so that's good. But lads, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm glad I've finally got you on. Please go, and I'm not just talking crap. I watch these two constantly, daily, especially Jamie. He's got loads of content, loads of discussions on Jamie's Jamie's channels. Some good, some bad. Not from Jamie, but just from Liverpool supporters and some supporters that just want to cause some aggro as well. But please go check him out at Jamie Phillips Football Chats on YouTube, and then for Dave LFC Chat on YouTube as well. Fellas, really appreciate it. For me, upcoming, I've got a story episode coming out, I think Friday, with Ray Houghton, the Liverpool and Irish legends.
Scottish.
I'm Scottish as well, yeah.
I was actually meant to meet Ray Houghton last Friday. He was in Dublin doing the show, and I had tickets for it. I tickets and I couldn't go.
Ray Houghton's a great guy. I've spoke to him once before. He's actually a great guy.
He was an underrated player. He was some player. Some player he was.
88, 89 team with him on the right wing. He's a great little player. He's a good storyteller as well. I like Ray Houghton.
Well, he scored the winner against England for us.
Exactly. We have a nice chat about that as well. So
what made him Irish, by the way? Is it?
I think it was his grandparents.
Grandparents.
Yeah,
it's called the grandparent rule.
I told him, Scottish by birth, Irish by heart.
Look at Aldridge as well. Aldo.
Yeah. What's weird too is both Aldo and Houghton played for Oxford United.
Oxford United,
Liverpool, the same time. Just talk with him, just to be you look across the park and you got Barnsley on the left, you're on the right, you got Whelan and McMahon in the middle. Had Aldo.
McMahon was my midfield idol
as well, so
McMahon's my midfield idol. When I did Sunday League as a little nipper, I played like Steve McMahon. So I just double-footed everyone. Gave little kids digs in the ribs.
See, that's what I think we're missing as well. Actually, in this team is a hard
bit of niggle.
Fabinho was going to be the hard man, and to the point he was. But I still think he has a part to play for Liverpool. But we just need somebody just to
Even Robertson's niggle went this season, didn't it? His niggle went where he was,
and he's the best at it.
He went though. He lost it this year, didn't he? Not as much.
Yeah. I think they all lost it this year. To be fair, Dave.
Yeah. Let's hope they find it for next season, lads. Let's hope they find it.
Nah, it'll be back. I'm sure. I'm praying.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, it'll be back. They'll be back on the inhalers in the summer. Don't worry, it'll be all right.
Well, again, thanks for everyone listening when this goes out, and again, please like and subscribe to these lads. Again, great content. I love it, and so should you. So I will see you next time.
Cheers. You never walk alone.
Guys.